9-2 here in St. Louis.
Nichols with the white splash in the deck too for Enlightened Tutor along with a couple other white cards. Enlightened Tutor are great in this matchup because Blood Moon's not getting destroyed, nor is it getting countered, so it adds so much to his consistency.
Since his Divining Top off a plateau is where Nichols will start things. Grove of the Burnwillows to draw here for Andersen. He will play a Grove. Looks like he's going to give Chris a life since he's such a nice gentleman. And now the play may be an Exploration, and it is. So Nichols will be at 21.
Nichols has to be pretty stoked with this start. For those of you not that familiar with Legacy, the way that Imperial Painter works, the actual kill in the deck, you have your various copies of tutor effects to set all the combo up. And then you have Painter Servant, you set everything to blue, you play a Grindstone, mill your opponent's deck over. You play with a lot of main deck Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast because you have Painter Servant in the deck, and main deck Red Blasts aren't too shabby against a lot of the field to begin with.
Here's a top activation. Maybe Nichols is without lands. He's got a City of Traders. And a Simian Spirit Guide. Hi. This is fun. It's a Blood Moon strategy.
Chris, welcome to the feature match area. Yep. Haven't had you on so far this weekend. Let's see how this goes.
He drew a Grove of the Burnwillows Mountain. And his hand is full of those. Fortunately for Chris, he does have a copy of Mox Diamond in hand to go along with some crop rotations, so he can actually cast the crop rotations. But how does he work his way out of this? That's a great question.
Oh, I'm looking here at the deck, and not a lot happens. Yep.
Yeah, that's going to do it.
Without his lands working. So there you go.
Chris is going to go to the sideboard now. Boy, Legacy is a delight sometimes. Chris Nichols will win game number 1 here over Chris Andersen. Imperial Painter up a game over Lance thanks to Blood Moon.
I think the format is fun as long as you acknowledge that a percentage of the time that's going to happen to you. If you're really married to the idea of, oh, I have a lot of agency over the way that all the games play out and there's a lot of back and forth, Legacy may not be the format for you, but it is fun playing with a huge card pool and just having a lot of wacky things happen.
Well, we'll get to the sideboard in just a moment here, but we are going to talk about the Season 4 schedule here in the Open Series very quickly. Where we were in Atlanta just a couple of weeks ago, we watched Jacob Lively get the job done there with Green White Megamorph. Really helped to set the stage for the Pro Tour that took place in Milwaukee. That was won by Obzon. Now we're in St. Louis. Someone's walking out of here with $5,000, 25 Open Series points, and invite to our Season 4 Invitational in Las Vegas. Next weekend, over Halloween weekend, we're going to be in Dallas.
After that, we head to Philadelphia for a Standard Open Series event. Then we take a week off of the Open Series for a Grand Prix in Atlanta. You can head over to StarCityGames.com/GP Atlanta for more information about that event. A Standard Open Series event in Kansas City, a Legacy Open in New Jersey, Standard in Denver, and then the Season 4 Invitational in Las Vegas, Nevada. Standard and Modern as the Invitational formats with a 2-day $20,000 Standard Open Series event. That's December 11th through the 13th. Then a week after that, December 19th and 20th, Roanoke, Virginia, Star City Games Players Championship at the headquarters to close out the year.
Of course, with all those main events up until Denver on December 5th, you'll be able to get access to the Hoppin' Rabbit Master Playmat. Pretty simple stuff. You sign up for the main event, boom, that's all you need to do.
Any of our 2-day $20,000 Open Series events comes with this playmat all the way through the Open Series event in Denver. So head out to any of our Open Series events in October, November, or the Open Series event in Denver.
That's Season 4, and that's our schedule. Chris Andersen will see at most of those shows. I don't know how much longer we're going to see him in this feature match, however. This looks to be a pretty difficult matchup for him.
It's not great. The end.
Yeah, Blood Moon is pretty straightforward stuff. Now you see for Chris's sideboard, he's got a Gaddock Teeg, Aethersworn Canonist, a Choke, and Abrupt Decay. Some other things going on here. And actually, do apologize, the one that we have up there for you guys is incorrect. So we'll just go over what we do have in front of us here with Bajuka Bog, 2 copies of Choke, a Tabernacle, a Pendro Veil, 4 Sphere of Resistance, 2 Trinus Spheres, a Dark Depths, 3 Crows and Grips, and a Pipping Needle. So what do we see here for Andersen?
3 copies of Crows and Grip absolutely have to come in this matchup. It's an answer to Blood Moon, and the combo that Nichols is trying to execute is all predicated off of artifacts. So any disenchant Chris can get his hands on, pretty solid in the matchup. 1 copy of Pithy Needle shuts down a variety of things going on in Nichols' deck, including Grindstone, which is part of the combo. I don't think this is a great matchup for Sphere of Resistance or Trinisphere, but with Chris on the play, he might go to those cards as well.
On the other side for Nichols is an Imperial Painter deck. I see a lot of one-ofs over there.
A mismatch of various things you can Enlighten Tutor for, Red Elemental Blast, an Engineered Explosive, a Thorn of Amethyst, a Tormod Script, Ensnaring Bridge, a Scab Clam Berserker, a Circle Protection Red, a Vexing Shusher, 2 copies of Koth of the Hammer, Duragar Heads Mage, a Rest in Peace, and 3 copies of Sudden Demise. This is a very Imperial Painter smattering of cards with dubious utility. I've seen this a lot. All the anti-graveyard measures are very good here as Chris is trying to loam and uses graveyard to good effect. So I think you're going to see the copy of Rest in Peace and the copy of Tormod's Crypt come in. I wouldn't really mess around with anything else.
I guess for Chris, he's just hoping not to play against Blood Moon again. That's the trick.
Now, even if Blood Moon comes out very early in the game, he does have a force in his deck that he can fetch for or happen to draw. He also has Mox Diamond in his deck, so he can break out of the lock if it comes up.
Yeah, and if he does find a Corrosion Grip, that's fine. So that's good. That's good. But we'll just have to see if he can find it.
He's still going to lose to Blood Moon a good percentage of the time, but he at least has some outs. Game 1, it shows up on turn 2 like that. There's just nothing he can do.
Yep. Exploration, off of a Taiga. Here's a Grove of the Burn Willows. Pass the turn back over Nichols, who can play a Blood Moon or a Mags of the Moon on turn 1 very easily. There's a Wooded Foothills. He'll sacrifice that. Down to 19 he goes.
The 1 circle of protection red in the sideboard.
Hater in the house.
Takes it seriously.
Yep. Doesn't want to lose to Burn, man.
Don't blame him. Matchup is not great, in my opinion, for the Imperial Painter deck.
Not the best.
Not the best matchup. Cop red is, you know, making sure you take care of business.
It's a good fix.
Good fix to that matchup.
Here's a top. See if Chris wants me to maybe crop rotate here.
Well, I'm interested to see the angle of attack that Chris takes here. He can go for a fast Merit Lage kill. The problem is that it's vulnerable to Ensnaring Bridge.
Yep.
Or he can try to just grind Nichols down by setting up various Wasteland and Rashadan Port style effects. I'm not sure which path is better. I'm interested to see which one Chris goes for.
Looks like it might be time to gamble.
When is it not?
One of my favorite Magic cards.
It is a great design. I mean, if you wanted to, the problem is that the card almost always gets used for kind of cheaty purposes. You know, you're getting a dredge card, you don't care if it gets hit. But the spirit of the card is great.
Yeah. There's Gamble. See what Chris wants to search for. Looks like he might be thinking loam. Wasn't sure if he wanted to search for maybe a Dark Depths piece or a Corrosion Grip.
Of all of the busted search and mana and so on type of effects in Saga Block, this is one that at least has its heart in the right place.
Yep.
As opposed to, say, Tolarian Academy, Time Spiral, Memory Jar, Yawgmoth's Will, Yawgmoth's Bargain, Grim Monolith, or a million other cards.
I don't see a problem with any of the cards you just listed. It's just people found a way to use them effectively. There goes crop rotation. Andersen with a Port and a Wasteland. Loam and Tabernacle in hand. Port activation going to take care of Mountain. Chris says, well, I guess I'll activate my top with that mana. That's on the upkeep, of course. And now Nichols will draw. Arid Mesa. Does have Blood Moon in hand, just having a little difficulty getting to it at this point.
I know he's got an Ancient Tomb in hand as well. The issue is just, can he navigate around the various ports and wastelands that Andersen has in play to get to 3 mana on his main phase?
That's the big question. Andersen's draw for the turn was crop rotation. He's going to play a Tabernacle here. Might be time to cast that loam. We'll see. Could be time to crop rotate. A couple different ways Andersen can go here.
Well, if he crop rotates and gets anything other than the forest, he is very vulnerable to Blood Moon.
Yep.
So the question is, does he want to be crop rotating now and doing something proactive? Or does he want to sit with crop rotation in his hand as insurance against Blood Moon?
Well, there's Loam. Nothing in return. Just wants to get the engine online. Pass the turn back. Yep, nothing doing. Yeah, so he's got crop rotation he's going to want to use. Probably sacking Tabernacle.
Yeah, he knows it's just too likely here. I guess he is going to go for it.
And he's going to go in the draw step.
Okay. This is the play, I think, that maximizes his exposure to Blood Moon.
Yep.
Nichols needs to have Blood Moon plus a 2-mana effect, either a 2-mana land or a 1-mana land alongside Lotus Petal or Simian Spirit Guide. But
it's just so likely for him to have that combination of cards.
But I feel like you need to get Loam going to really get anything going. He can't wait here all day. Chris is also vulnerable to just getting comboed out of the game. It's not like he can sit here just playing around Blood Moon indefinitely. So he's got to make a move. He's got to start to get something going, but I think Nichols is going to be able to hammer him as a result.
Well, here comes the Moon effect, thanks to the Ancient Tomb and Plateau. Now we got to draw a Basic Forest or a Mox Diamond. I think Chris is going to be taking some draw steps here, yeah.
I mean, he doesn't even have the Crozan grip.
Yeah.
So, he's way behind in terms of getting out from under this.
This is the exact kind of game that this deck wants to play too, because now there's the Painter's Servant. We'll see what color it's going to name.
Well, he has Pyroblast in hand, so I'm assuming this is on blue.
Yep, that probably answers that question. Yeah, boom.
Sure, love it.
Yep, he's going to name blue. He's going to land destruction of land deck now.
I hope we're just nothing but 1/3 beatdowns and Stone Rains going forward.
Well, it looks like we're going that direction. Just to make you happy. Over to Andersen we go. Mana Bomb the draw. Spin the top, Will Nichols.
Yes.
Another blast effect, along with an Imperial Painter. This is the driver's seat if there ever was one. Here's an attack for 1. You take great pleasure in games like this.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. There's Imperial Recruiter.
Ooh, clock just doubled.
Yep.
Tripled potentially.
Yeah, it could be tripling actually.
See what he has to go get here. Maybe a Goblin Welder. Creature Dash Advisor. It's his job.
A Magus to the Moon, a little redundancy.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now you don't even have to worry about Crozan grip. And the clock has doubled again.
Yes, it has.
He's exponentially increasing his clock. He is going off.
Andersen will draw and simply pass the turn back. Curious how much longer Chris is going to suffer through this.
I don't mind. I'm having an all right time.
That's good. It's really
Doesn't bother me at all.
It's really what it's all about, honestly. Nichols with a grindstone. It's not going to last much longer. Chris will drop his hand, and it'd actually be the Chris on the right in Mr. Nichols who wins this match over the Chris on the left in Mr. Andersen. Imperial Painter will take down lands, and for Chris Nichols, he is now 10-2. For Chris Andersen, he falls down to 9-3. That matchup is not good.
Hard